block out sound and light, but it is physically there when it's there. It's just enchanted to work this way.
So I look at hey, and it seems like they have an alarm going off. Do you want to bounce?
It's never good to be where the enemy expects you to be. Even if we don't leave this floating castle, we should maybe consider moving rooms so that when, they all converge here, we're no longer here. That's not to say we couldn't leave some sort of welcome for them.
I think a welcome for them could be, hey, Wyverns, attack the next thing that comes through the door, and then we just teleport away.
Aiden looks a little sad at the idea of giving up the Wyverns. But he doesn't necessarily object.
Because I think the consensus is we might want to just not be in this entire place. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we did a great gamble. It paid off. We got some good information, and now we might just be pressing our luck if we try to stay.
Any idea where we are?
I look down. Over the edge. Nope.
Definitely too high and too much cloud coverage to discern where along the Sword Coast you might be. Did you actually roll something?
No.
I don't think so.
Sorry, I was wondering.
I think he's just making a jest.
Yeah, it's like I know I'm so high in the clouds that I'm not gonna be able to see anything. So, and even if I did, how would I know where we are?
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I'm just gonna make a roll for myself.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
I'm scared to talk now.
The alarm goes off momentarily. Another 10 minutes goes by while you guys are deciding this. The alarm sounds again, but you've not noticed anyone come knocking on the door as of yet.
So if we're leaving, then I think our options are to get back on the Wyverns, get close to ground, see if we can figure out a little bit of where we are, what direction the castle is going.
Yeah.
Or I cast the scroll right now.
I like option A just so that we have more information on what direction the castle's going. We'd be able to get away free on the Wyverns, check our location, check the directions it's going, and also just as like a side note, Aiden's gonna take a look at what's in the. So there's a lot of books and potions. Is there anything memorable in the room, Brew?
I mean, the room itself, if you remember, the roof was completely covered with, I believe I said, elk skulls, horse skulls.
Horse. You said horse.
This wizard's kind of made it his own. The whole place is made of ice, but he's laid down carpet. There's the podium. Is there something specific you're looking for?
So the reason that I'm asking is because not that it would be super helpful, but I have the spell locate object. So I'd like to look at something and essentially attune myself or whatever to it so that...
Locate object only has 1,000 feet range.
Right. Not super useful, but who knows?
That does remind me that I wanted to try something else, though.
You can...
While we're waiting
Go ahead,
we don't know what's going on in the rest of the castle, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to cast Locate Creature.
Okay. Aiden, the most recognizable thing would be the way that the dead wizard is dressed himself. Other than that, the most important object you found in this room probably was the book that Isabella took. Locate creature. Okay.
Valor can always scry
And I'd like to use
later.
it to locate the nearest giant.
Nearest giant?
Yeah.
Did you see that ruler?
Yeah, what?
Oh, it didn't show up? Okay, I switched layers. I wasn't sure if I used the ruler on the Dungeon Master's lair, if it would show up on your screen, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it's nice.
You sense two giants no less than 100 meters. Sorry, is it in meters? 100 feet away from you down the hallway. The next closest one would be. Oh, is it just nearest?
It's just the nearest. I don't
Yeah,
know if it
100
will like keep following the nearest or like just switch to the nearest if it no longer was the nearest.
Yeah, you get a strong sense that there's one or two giants 100 feet away from you.
So the nearest giant, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, it's yeah. From Gil's description of the hallway, there's a hallway leading to the west of the map. So it's sort of southwest from your direction.
Okay. And if he gets closer this way, I'm going to let the group know. It's a concentration spell for now.
And after casting the spell and maybe waiting another 5 minutes, the two giants haven't made any real motion in any direction.
I think they're waiting for us to try to get out.
I'll say 20 minutes have gone by since you guys have fortified the door and still discussing whether or not you want to escape or stay, and still the alarm sounds again and nothing.
They've got to know where we are. They've got to be setting up something.
Well, they know that we could always fly away, and they know where we're going. So like, they're probably watching the outside, probably watching this door. They don't know we can just leave. I mean, these people have a flying castle, I imagine, and the guy flew. I imagine they have some way of just pelting us on the sky if we take off on these things.
You know what?
It's just how long do we want to wait? Test their patience.
I'm worried if there's nothing going on.
The reason we're waiting here is because we want to recuperate, right?
It was until the alarm.
Until the alarm.
Yeah.
We didn't hear the alarm last time, so this time we hear an alarm. So we know that we've been exposed.
While they're talking about this, Bush is kind of pacing around, looking nervous, and kind of looking concernedly at Isabella.
I say we get on the wyverns and leave. Unless you think that they have some sort of aerial attack that you'd feel uncomfortable doing that. But I'd like to get a sense of where we are and where the castle's going.
Seems likely
I
on
was
the giant
Suppose
castle.
we could just go straight down.
I think that's our best bet, to just
Even
go
if
straight
we
down as fast as possible.
Yeah, find the nearest settlement. At least we know where to start, and we know where they're going from there.
I agree.
Still nothing from the giants?
No, one seems to be not moving at all. The other, it's kind of hard to tell, but neither of them have really left that same 100-foot range.
Maybe they don't care.
Yeah, you don't set off alarms if you don't care, though.
Well, the one guy, the humans working with the giants. The giants are probably like, well, that's a human problem.
Right, but we still have mages that are in here and probably just as dangerous.
Yeah. So are we just gonna?
So
Oops.
yeah, I'd say mount up. Maybe Falor and was Woosh driving the other wyvern?
Yeah. Woosh is driving.
Maybe you two kind of go first. We'll scan the horizon, make sure nothing's there. You two go first, drop down, and I'll cover our flank.
Don't
Just
rush.
because I think I have the best control of the wyvern, and it might lead to aerial combat.
I think they're trying to flush us out.
So you think we shouldn't leave?
I think that if we should leave right now and with the circle.
And I guess okay.
Because that's the one way they don't expect us.
They know we can take the wyvern, and they know about the door.
Yeah,
I think they're watching
we leave the way
door.
we came in. And we know there's no. I was worried about an anti-magic type of thing, but you just cast a spell, so we should be okay.
The longer we stay aboard, the best chance we have to figure out where they're headed.
How long does it take to cast the circle?
If they're not going to come for us.
A minute. We could at least take a short rest and just kind of...
We are taking a short rest.
Yeah, sorry.
So, if they were to come after us, we'd have to hold for a minute while Isabella casted the circle.
Mm-hmm. Which is 10 rounds of combat.
Holy crap, a minute is that many rounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 rounds, 6 seconds times 10.
Without me casting any other spells, right? So
if we're pressed for time, we can jump on and leave and hope for the best.
Which I suppose was our plan while we rested anyways, to keep the wyverns as a quick exit.
Yeah. Isabella, can you still detect thoughts?
Yes, once more. In a 30-foot radius.
I'll tell you if they come closer.
Okay.
So, you guys haven't made any movements? Am I assuming you're going to try to push for the whole long rest?
Short rest.
Short rest. Okay.
Yes.
I guess so.
Oh my god, I'm
we're on
so
our guard,
nervous.
but yes.
Yeah. So I don't think. I mean, I don't know how it helps the rolls or the situations like that, but I can't recover a spell on a short rest, can I? A spell slot?
No, paladins can't do that.
Okay, so I don't have anything else to recover. I don't need to recover hit points or do anything else. So
You can, if we finish our short rest, you can use a hit die to recover hit points.
But I don't need to. I'm full
Oh, you don't
health.
need to. I can't see your health.
Yeah, so I'm full health, so I don't need to do anything, and I can't recover my spell slots. So I think that if the others are kind of resting, Aiden would be talking to the wyverns, giving them like a guard command in Draconic, to the extent that they can
I'm gonna
understand
have to
that.
leave. It's not you, it's me.
Right. But patting them, maybe naming them. I'm gonna name them.
Try and prep them for the separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Once you
Mhm.
Yeah.
are done
and
self-isolating.
You get your channel divinity back if you used it, but that's about it.
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did either.
I'm gonna make one more roll.
Uh-huh.
A little nervous.
So complete opposite.
So I can't tell which one was good for us, guys. The first one or the second one?
Well, no matter which, we have one good and one bad, so...
Yeah.
You guys make it through 45 minutes of your hour. The alarm going on and off every 10 minutes. 5 minutes into the last alarm, is anyone like, so Fowler, you're kind of paying attention to the front door, or you're just watching for the giants, right?
I'm doing both, yeah.
Roll me a perception check. Okay. You hear the sound of one of the ice doors being opened up down the hall. And the sound of small. Well, you hear the sound of footfalls coming down the ice hallway, followed by a sound of larger entities coming down the hallway. But your giant sense hasn't moved.
Right. There were ogres on the...
Correct.
Yeah. I'm gonna let the others know that I think the cultists are making a move.
Okay. Let's put the wyverns in the front, and then we just stand outside and cast the teleport spell. Right, let's put them right by the door.
You hear the sound of muffled orders being given, and then someone tries the door, but it's been in it's been fused together.
Yeah. I mean, it's a giant door. They like is it someone big trying the door, or?
Yeah, it's the sound of you hear the sounds of fists hitting the door a little bit higher than a human can reach. They're banging on the door. They're trying to get in, but not sure how long it will hold.
Time to go then.
Yeah, are we teleporting, or are we looking? I don't know. At least look outside.
Yeah, take a look outside. Well,
Yeah,
Aiden was
let's take a
outside,
look.
wasn't he?
I don't know. You stayed outside, Aiden? Or at least I'm gonna tap the window to get his attention.
Yeah. I don't think I
Make a
can be
perception check,
out
Aiden.
there, but
Yeah, Aiden
Okay.
said he was keeping an eye outside.
Yeah,
since
sorry,
he didn't have to rest as much.
I just figured I'd keep you in here so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, no problem.
not very perceptive.
Yeah, as the alarm goes, you notice that the fog has thickened around the castle somewhat more.
Well, that's good for us, isn't it?
Or bad, we might not be able
Or-
to navigate it.
Or
Not
we
to
can't
navigate it. We're just
see.
leaving.
We don't know if they have other wyverns either.
Well, all right, we don't know if there's like an aerial army out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys,
Okay.
decision time. Are we taking the wyverns or are we teleporting?
I think we should just teleport. Start it.
I don't know
Bush
if we have a minute.
nods.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Hey,
What?
Brew,
Mm-hmm. What was that? Sorry.
go ahead. If Julie had a question, go ahead and let her, because I gotta
No,
figure
no,
out how
no,
to frame
no.
my question.
I just said whoosh nods.
Okay, so we're teleporting. So I'm trying to read a spell to see if I have to be in range, but it doesn't look like it. So I'm looking at command.
Mhm.
And I was gonna command the wyverns. If I command them to do something and then teleport away, do they still follow that command?
Yes.
They do for the length of the spell's duration, yeah.
It only lasts 6 seconds. Which is not enough to do much of anything.
You hear the pounding starting to
Okay.
increase on the door, and the door itself is starting to crack. You guys are
Alright.
casting the spell, and
Yeah.
We are?
I
or
thought
what
we
do
were casting teleport. Are we casting teleport? I thought that's what you guys decided.
Is there
Or
a
are we
swing
taking
it
the
out of her
wyverns?
I thought we were gonna take the wyverns if we were
Oh.
pressed for time.
Okay. Yeah, we can take the wyverns.
Now's not the time to quibble.
Right,
No.
here we go. Let's do this.
Okay.
Who's best to take the lead? I don't know if we want someone...
Whoever was already doing it.
I'd say you can lead
Alright.
control the dragons. I'll hop on the
Alright.
wyvern with Whoosh, and then Isabel and Fowler can decide where they want.
Isabella's going with Aiden.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
Since Gail made the decision for her, she doesn't have to
Um,
choose between Aiden and Woosh.
Go
so
ahead.
we're hopping on the dragons. Aiden's gonna take the lead, tell the other dragons in Draconic to follow,
Mm-hmm.
and then also, like, an evade command, essentially, like, moving his hand from side to side.
All right. Aiden, you give me a animal handling with advantage. The rest of you can give me a straight animal handling. The ones that are driving?
I'm driving.
Sure, we'll say driving.
Yay!
Oh, thank God for
Nice.
advantage. Woo!
It
Look
didn't
at
do
us,
anything
guys.
for you.
Our wyverns love us.
So they, you touch the door, it opens up. The wall, sorry. You lead them out, and you pilot them where? Where are you guys headed? Straight down?
dive.
I think
Yeah.
a dive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going down.
Okay. All right.
I'd say. Do we want to stick around or do we want to leave?
Well, so I think so. It would kind of depend on what's going on. My thought is, if we take to the air and go into a relatively controlled dive, Aiden would look back over his shoulder to see if he can see any signs of pursuit or any unrest in the fog, any swirls in the fog, anything along those lines. If it
Okay.
doesn't look like he can see anything following them, he would kind of motion Gale and Fowler ahead and hang back to get a sense of the direction on, like, where the castle's moving and see what else he could see. Essentially guard the flank.
But the things were meant to.
So are we gathering, say, at the tip of the bottom tip of the iceberg?
Assuming that we don't see any pursuit, I would think so.
Okay.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to, I know when you hold a spell, you expel the spell slot anyways.
Yep.
So in terms of, like, this isn't combat, this isn't round by round combat, would you allow me to, like, hold an offensive spell for that long if I'm still expending the slot, like, by the time we, like, I don't know how you'd want that to work, but, like, being that I'm not driving and I don't have to focus on anything, I'd like to be ready to attack. if
By the
possible.
rules, you can ready a spell and it doesn't cost you anything until you cast it.
I thought it was like in combat, if you readied it and your turn came around and you hadn't fulfilled the requirements, then you lost the slot.
You can take actions even outside of initiative. There's just usually no point.
Yeah,
Or
like if
rule
there's a
on it.
specific trigger, I imagine like you're just waiting for someone to get into range. If you're preparing like a ranged attack, I would allow that. I would say you are not going to be surprised, or even give you a surprise round if you're going to hold it like that.
Okay. Then yeah, then I'm holding like a minute meteors for anything that's any enemy that's going to come into range.
Okay.
Aggressive enemy, I should say.
I don't know if you can hold a bonus action spell.
Well,
It's an action
spell.
to cast it.
Oh,
the
it's an
first
action
time.
class? Okay. Oh, it's a bonus action to keep using it?
Yes.
Alright, I see.
Sorry, give me one moment.
No. Hurry
I'm
up.
so scared, guys.
I'm Zen.
Give me a. You said you're looking back over your shoulder to see if you're being pursued. Give me a perception check.
We really should have had someone with
Please
better
roll well.
perception do this, guys.
None of us do, I don't think.
I do.
Nice.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah.
As you dive down to the base of the iceberg, you have a hard time even seeing the platform you came from at this point because of the fog. Are you guys just moving as far away as you can, or are you going to maintain pace?
Well, I'm riding. Whoosh is gonna do whatever Isabella does, so I'm kind of chained to that. And Isabella's
Yeah,
with...
Wish doesn't want to go anywhere
Isabella is
without
chained
Isabella.
Yeah, Aiden. So it's
Yeah,
more
so
or
the
less
other.
up to Ayers to what direction
Okay.
the wyverns go.
So
And
Aiden
Fowler,
kind of
he
like
can go.
hung.
Feather has his hands full doing this, so
So
he's
Aiden-
not really
Go ahead.
he's not really in a position to make tactical decisions right now.
Damn it, guys.
Yep.
So Aiden went into the dive essentially to get away from any forces that might have been waiting outside the ledge. Having looked around and not being able to see anything, he'd kind of like grit his teeth, obviously unhappy, but continue diving down because we've got to get out of the fog. Right now, the risk of ambush is too great, and that outweighs figuring out where this stupid castle is going.
Mhm.
So he's going to keep diving until he gets below any like fog bank and then try to look around again.
Okay, and we're all following you.
Yep.
So how many dragons do we find?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I know.
Can't find him. Give me 1 second.
Oh boy.
Hey, Tinox.
What's up?
Tell me about those handy jumping boots you have.
They're handy jumping boots.
Do they just jump or do they slow your fall?
They just jump.
No particular reason.
They
Oof.
just jump.
I
We'd
mean,
rather have diving than we would.
that was a really high perception. You guys, sorry, you said you were continuing on downward? Sorry, I was
Yes.
heard what you said, but okay.
Yep, we're in a dive down, essentially to get out of the fog bank
Okay.
and get below the castle.
All right, you go below the cloud line, swooping down towards it's once you get below the cloud line, you realize how dark it is because it was towards the end of the day when you guys went up in the castle. So it's actually really hard to see
Mhm.
the ground, but it is approaching close. Kind of hard to discern exactly where you are, but let me just switch over the map here so I can see. Your landing options are heavy forest or a moor, a boggy swamp-like terrain.
The forest.
Well,
Hang on, sorry. What was the question?
You're taking a look at your options to land. You see.
Hang on, we haven't said we're landing.
Oh, you just said you were going down
We're
lower.
going down under the fog bank.
Oh, I see. Okay.
right, like we're not landing because the
misunderstood.
wyverns are stronger in the air for now.
Right. Okay.
We don't want to land unless we see a reason we really need to land, or use the wyverns as a very convincing decoy.
Okay. You see the clouds above you and the dark landscape below you.
Mhm. If we go down closer to the ground, are we going to be Can we like keep our eye on the cloud and keep following it from down there?
The fortress?
Yeah.
If you were to leave too far past the clouds, without keeping pace, you probably would lose track of the sky reach itself. At the pace it's going.
Do
Is
we
in the
see any?
clouds.
Do I see any lights in the distance on the ground, like a settlement or a town or something?
Yeah, everyone should be looking because my perception sucks.
Oh, mine's probably no better.
I
You
have
can
fairly
make a
good
perception check.
This is not a perceptive group.
I'm still holding a
Oh, good Gale.
attack.
Wow, look at that, guys.
nice.
So you two, you don't notice any town settlements. You see the odd plume of smoke off in the distance. Maybe a campfire, maybe a house. But absolutely no lights whatsoever over this part of the continent.
Do they see any signs of pursuit or anything?
That's not what they were looking for.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So you guys are
Can I
keeping
make
pace.
a roll to see if I can see anything that's dangerous? To see if we can follow?
Sure.
Nope. Should have specified I was doing that the first time, but whatever. Whoops.
You guys are keeping sort of keeping pace right at the edge of the cloud line and the where the clouds end and where you can see the ground. Is that how I'm
Yeah.
understanding this?
Well,
I
so-
think we should go down, keep going the same direction, and see if we can figure out where we are.
right. So essentially, Brew, we're like, I don't know, 10 feet below the cloud line, 20 feet. So we would see anything that comes out of the clouds, but we're still keeping pace with the fortress and the clouds about 10 feet under the line. Does that make sense to everyone?
Do we know if we're going north or south or east or west? Now that we're outside of the castle, what directions were we going?
Okay, I have a better question, I think.
Okay.
Brew, can I use my knowledge of survival to orient myself by the stars?
That's
Excellent
the right
question.
question.
Way to
could roll-
go, Fallor.
You could roll a survival check.
Okay.
15? Yeah. For a dwarf, you know quite a bit about constellations, apparently.
I've been out and about.
Based on the direction of travel and the position of the moon and the stars, you guess that this castle is traveling south from the direction that you came from. So you're traveling south. I will say, though, if you're staying at this distance away from the castle, it is designed to be invisible within the clouds. So if you're going to try to keep pace, I'll probably require you guys to make some more perception checks to keep an eye on where it is.
Would it come? What
Invisible
distance
then.
would it come back into view? Like, so if we lose view and suddenly it seems to become invisible, and then we like rise on our wyverns.
It's moving quick, so you're having to ride the wyverns at a fast
Max.
pace. It's going to be a matter of how long the wyverns can maintain that fast pace
We
to
can't
keep
follow
up
it
with
to
the castle.
destination.
Yeah, your wyverns will never last.
And we probably can't follow it fast enough to get back on board either. So I can tell in which direction it's. I chatted the other, over the rush of the wind and everything, that I know which direction it's going. And not much more, because Fallor.
So Aiden would shout back to see if we can follow as long as the wyverns last to make sure it doesn't change directions. And then once the wyverns start to tire and kind of lag behind, then we'll find a landing spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stay too close to it.
How close is too close?
Frankly, close to the fog bank is too close because we're gonna get freaking.
We don't know what's
ambushed.
hiding
just-
inside.
It's a dragon cult. They probably have
So-
dragons.
Is Fowler gesturing to the ground, or
Fowler
like,
definitely
we need to
feels
go
better with
down?
his feet on the ground, and he is expressing that.
You see the moon pass behind the clouds, light still piercing through the clouds. I don't have everyone's passive perception, but I'm
Oh.
assuming they're all higher than that. So
Well,
For a
I have
moment-
13.
okay, for a moment you all see the moon get blotted out by something momentarily,
Oh.
but you don't make out what it is. But it was a large enough entity to block the light out momentarily, and then the light pierces again through the clouds.
so
Down.
at that, Aiden would bank downward
Which will follow.
very quickly. So we're going to the ground now. Maybe not necessarily to land.
But flying closer to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely getting closer to the ground, letting the
top.
castle go off and do its own freaking thing.
Okay, you guys get closer to the ground. The castle moves on throughout the clouds, and you lose sight of it as it continues on in its southerly direction. You guys look about, and as I said, yeah, there's a large forest kind of outlining a swampy marsh area. I'll actually probably switch us over to the map.
I think that the trees would be a little tricky for these wyverns to land in unless there's enough spacing between them. So Aiden would probably direct his wyvern kind of towards the edge where there's landing, but then they could easily pull the wyverns and everyone under the cover of the trees to hide.
I wish there was an easy way to. Sorry, yeah. You can do that without too much problem. They seem to still be responding to you quite well, so. You bring them down. You land just along the tree line next to the swamp. The night is quiet, the wind is still. Your wyverns seem a little uneasy.
Why?
Oh, hey, it's a tavern.
He's trying to
It's
move
like,
us
where
over.
are we?
Sorry, yeah, there's not really an easy way to switch the map when there's 20 maps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see where we
It'd
are.
be so much better if you just right click on the map you want everyone to be on
Yeah, I agree.
and
Yeah.
choose.
So you're somewhere south of Parnas, which is way over here. You can only assume.
Do we have an idea how long we were in the air for? If we were to, like, when we go back, look at a map.
Yeah, it was. You might be able to calculate the time of how far
Okay.
you've traveled. Yeah. So you guys are landing. Are you doing anything else now that you're on the ground?
Do the wyverns look... Do they look nervous just because, like, they're on the ground in a new environment with new people? Or do they look skittish like, animals look skittish when there's danger nearby.
Exactly. They seem a little cagey, like they've maybe perceived something that you haven't.
Cool.
Like we should hide.
Yeah,
Let's go back on the wyverns and find another spot.
I
We
think
just need a
so.
minute.
I want to look up in the sky at least.
We don't need to spend the night here. We just need a minute.
I want to at least look up in the sky to make sure that the problem isn't in the sky.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch the sky as well to make sure there's no danger coming.
Seeing them look at the sky, Aiden's gonna look around, kind of peer at the forest and the moor, and see if he can sense anything nearby there.
It's a dark night, Gale, but there's enough moonlight to accent. You see a large. It's almost invisible against the clouds, but a large white dragon form is circling above, seemingly waiting to see what you guys are going to do.
I message that to everyone. The white dragons, he knows we're here. He's right above us.
Isabella will
I
take the scroll out
Don't
of
think
her
we should
pack
go into the air.
All right.
and just hold on to it, and until I don't know.
So,
I
as
think we
group
should
deems
get
it
into the
necessary.
woods, find somewhere
Isabella
safe, and
does
just
that, Aiden would kind of point at the wyverns and then point to the sky. Essentially, like, he'd gesture, like, group the wyverns together with his arms and then kind of throw them into the sky.
Are you trying to shoo them off into the distance?
No, he's asking if he should.
I see.
Like, should we use, and like a questioning shrug, should we use them as a decoy for these little white dragons?
Isabella nods.
If he's circling, he doesn't know where we are yet.
I'll get you guys all to roll a stealth check, actually.
This is not going to go well, guys.
Aiden and Isabella are rolling pretty closely there.
Yeah, we're super stealthy characters.
All right.
Especially since you're rolling with disadvantage, I think.
You see the dragon sort of circles. He's making circles around you, above you, but he's slowly dropping in elevation.
I think we should get into the woods and hide.
He catches a glint of something shining in the distance off the moonlight. Maybe some armor. Maybe the unblinking eye of a tiefling. He starts doing a nosedive towards the wyverns.
So,
You guys running into the forest?
I think we should leave the wyverns and we should run into the forest, yes.
Yeah.
as the others do that, Aiden looks at the wyverns and gestures into the air and points to the dragon and says attack. And I might do it with command.
Okay. That's going to be that's a big difference. So if you want to use command.
Hold on, because I can do.
Only works on one of them.
Well, no, because if I at higher levels.
You don't have that many higher levels.
You can still do it.
I have a second level, so I could affect 2 of them.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not particularly a fan of my second level spells, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use command at the second level.
Okay.
Because the wyverns are all standing together, so they're definitely within 30 feet of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cast command. And I am going to tell them to... Hold on, I want to make sure that I can command them to do what I say I'm going to do. Like, I couldn't command them to die, but I can command them to attack, right?
Yeah, but you can tell them who.
Actually, I don't believe you can command someone to attack their allies, but
Or something that would put itself in danger.
Yeah.
you can tell them to make like
You could tell them to
directions.
fly.
I could tell them to flee.
Distract.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
It
I'm gonna-
might be sufficient.
I'm gonna command 2 of them to flee.
Okay.
So then I click it. Oh, a little thing comes up. Look at that.
Whoops.
Excuse me?
Oh, wait, no. That was the wrong. Is that?
That's a spell.
That's command. Okay. You command the 2 wyverns to flee, and all 3 of them do take off and start flying, and they do start flying in 3 different directions. The center one you see gets quickly snatched up in the mouth of the white dragon. It's making a meal of it, and it's gaining altitude to come back in for a second sweep. But you guys have already said you've started to run, I assume.
Yeah, I'm
In
like,
the
get
forest,
in
We
the
are
yeah.
woods. Get in the
freaking
woods.
running.
In the woods.
Okay.
Into the woods
As
to grandmother's house.
Aiden like runs forward, I'm gonna give him my last inspiration to help with like a stealth check or something. Or just
Oh,
kindly whispers, "Yeah, I believe in you. You got it."
appreciated.
So you got a
Okay.
D8.
So, Willis, are you guys running full speed, or are you trying to be stealthy?
We're still trying not to attract its attention.
Okay.
Right, because right now it may think we're on the other wyverns. Maybe.
All right. So you guys head in about 30 feet, and you try to lose the sight of the dragon, and you do lose sight of the dragon. Whether or not it's still in
30
pursuit
feet
is
isn't far enough. I feel like we should just
Yeah.
keep going.
roll another stealth check as a group.
So how does the inspiration work? Because I remember there being some issues with it. I can
Oh.
roll and then decide whether to use it.
Correct.
Yes.
Roll-
Considering you're rolling a disadvantage for your stealth anyway, I kind of figured I'd give it to you.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Do you want to roll the D6?
I think I probably should. So
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, I'm over here carrying y'all with a natural
'Kay.
30.
So that puts
Yeah.
you at 11. Okay. Pretty good for the whole group. You don't. You hear off to the right, you see tree branches crashing as half a wyvern gets tossed into the forest, and you hear the roar of a white dragon circling above. He doesn't seem to notice you directly, but
I think we should go another stretch.
I think we should go as far as we can try and hide, find maybe some cover, and do this where it's harder for him to see. Because last thing we want is him seeing us right away, mid cast. Because then the spell's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
so you guys are moving in a bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
yeah.
Low and slow this time, since he doesn't seem to know exactly where we are.
Yeah.
Right, a little more stealthily.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't have any stealthy spells, guys. I'm sorry.
That's
not what you're
okay.
built for.
You're like a 6'5" dragon form
You guys
stomping through the woods.
slowly take another couple
then-
of feet.
And I'm keeping a hand on Aiden's back, giving him guidance.
There you go.
Ah, nice.
Okay. Give me another group stealth check. I'm just
Still
setting
normal?
the DC.
Shit, yes!
Yep, normal.
Mm.
Vala, your encouragement does a lot for me.
That's not how guidance works, but
It's my head canon.
so guidance does what? Adds a D4?
As a D4. To all your checks. So,
Only lasts a round, doesn't it?
no.
No?
Last
Cool.
minute.
Oh, cool.
So okay. I'm just doing some 1, 2, 3.
Oh, never mind. It's only once.
So I almost feel like you might as well just use it now. See if you can get yourself fire. I mean,
What do I
that's a
do?
cantrip, isn't it?
I'm
You
thinking
can
of
just keep
bless.
doing
Actually, I will cast bless. I'm casting bless on everyone.
it.
Wait, nope. I don't have it prepared. Never mind.
There you go.
All right. You guys moved in and you don't hear anything for a few moments. You don't see anything. Aiden just happens to step on a old piece of rotten tree, and the sound of a branch cracks momentarily, and you see the light of the moon go out momentarily. You see this dragon looming overhead the forest top. He can't see you, but he just gives off a guttural dragon roar. I need you guys all to roll a wisdom saving throw.
We're all near to.
Nope.
Aiden rolled an 8.
We're all near to Aiden, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
What's
Hey,
that, sorry?
guys. Right. If you guys are within 10 feet of me and have to make a saving throw, you gain a bonus equal to my charisma modifier,
Which is 4.
which is, I guess, 4. Yeah, it's 4.
Oh my
my
god.
Shit, guys.
So it increases it by 4?
+4 on all of these.
Okay.
As long as we're all crowded together.
Yeah, starting at 6th level, whenever you or a friendly creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw, the creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to my charisma modifier, which is 4.
Okay. Whoosh and Gale. You both hear the roar of this dragon, and having killed 2 of these creatures, neither of them were this big, and neither of them were this loud. You guys are, and you have fear of the dragon, and you use your turn to dash your full speed in deeper into the forest.
Shit.
Goodbye.
So Gale is gone. Whoosh pretty fucking far.
Yeah.
The
Not as
other
fast as
three-
Gale though.
The other 3, you guys maintain your caution. I will get the 3 of you to now roll one more stealth check if you're continuing deeper into the forest.
Does the dragon seem to notice Whoosh and Gale as they run away?
That's hard to say right now.
Question. Did Whoosh and Gale run off in the same direction?
They headed
Deeper into the forest?
They headed same direction you guys are going, just way farther ahead.
Okay, yeah, because if they'd gone different directions, then Aiden might stop and be like, what do we do? But, oh god, here we go.
Okay. Actually, I will get Gale and Whoosh. You guys aren't being stealthy, so count those as fails. Let me just make one roll here. What's the command to do a whisper roll again? Sorry.
/GM roll? Oh no, that's.
I think it's /W and then character or player.
You can Just make a creature only roll whispers.
To roll just you and the GM, it's /GM roll. I don't know if there's a you and one other person. You could whisper them and put the roll in double brackets inside.
That doesn't need to be. Okay. You see the shadow of the dragon shoot off ahead of the main group, and it's just continuing to roar, and it opens its mouth, and you see a cone of like a snowstorm come out of its mouth. Julie, I need Whoosh to make a Constitution saving throw.
There's this as well, but yeah, I can make a Constitution saving throw.
That's dexterity saving throws.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it a const? Okay. Oh shit.
This is gonna suck.
This is gonna suck.
You're gonna lose a bird.
Don't die, Julie.
Oops. Oof.
We should have drank potions before we left.
Oh shit. Okay,
Whoops.
yeah.
Holy shit.
I thought that was a whisper. I'm sorry.
Hey,
What's your total health?
My hit point maximum is 49, but I have 41 currently.
Your maximum's 49?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very important right now.
Yikes.
Okay. All right.
That was close.
Very.
You feel the cold embrace of death encapsulate your body. You find yourself going unconscious.
I was gonna say. She's not quite there.
Gale, roll another wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna say I might just be gone.
Oh shit.
I can't move my crazy speed, but I can at least still do some stupid shit. I might be okay.
Yeah, you're no longer feared.
Okay.
You see this strathing action happen, and the dragon flies up.
Can I do something?
Yep. What do you like to do?
We see the dragon fly up.
Yeah, is it flying up as in disengaging and being like, oh yeah, I wiped these MFers out?
No, he's definitely
or...
coming back, but he's flying up for now.
Yeah, he's flying up to make another run. What were you going to say, Jess?
Can I take a page out of Fowler's book and cast Banishment?
What's the range on
Presumably.
banishment?
60 feet.
You would have to wait until it's in range. It strafed towards Whoosh.
I thought it was just above us.
It's leaving now.
It's sort of above where Whoosh was, and she used her full movement to get ahead of you guys, which I think is like
40.
80.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can definitely do that if it comes in range.
So as the dragon flies
Well, I'm
up,
not holding
I'm
it.
taking the opportunity to rush forward myself at full speed towards where I saw it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
While...
I'll actually turn around and go back. Because
Okay.
I knew I was ahead of them with all my shit. I could have gotten way ahead of everybody.
Okay, while they're doing that, I guess I'm asking both Isabella and Brew. If Isabella were to start casting the teleport now,
Mhm.
is that still 10 freaking combat turns? Like how
Yes.
how long?
Yeah, it's still a full
So-
minute.
It's a full minute, but the dragon's coming up.
This was one round.
If it's interrupted, then we lose
The spell entirely.
We
And
need to
the
find
dragon
somewhere
is
to
a lot
hide.
faster than we are.
So after going ahead, can I see Whoosh?
Yeah, it's no trouble to see her. The blast itself has sort of knocked some of the trees over with the weight of the ice, and you see her unconscious there in the strath.
Right. I cast a healing word on her
Okay.
at level 3.
All right. So 16.
16 hit points.
All right, Whoosh,
Oh my gosh.
your eyes open and you're freezing. You feel as though you have frostbite over your body, but you're conscious.
Bush slowly gets up.
I want to find a place where we can kind of hide under a good amount of cover
Yeah, are there any like overhangs?
and not in
Burrows.
this
hang on.
line.
Having done that, I'm gonna drop to the ground, drop prone to the ground, cover myself in dirt.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Do I need to roll anything for that, or
Did. Just did, man.
it's what I was born for?
I'll give you advantage on that stealth roll then. I'll get you guys all to roll me one more stealth check.
Oh no.
Did we determine if somebody else could use the scrolls?
Just do.
Like,
Yeah.
just me? Gail can't use them?
I think I would argue that Gale probably could use them. Yeah. Now.
In the bard spell list?
It's not on the bard spell list.
Let's see.
Technically, magic circle. No, hang on. I'm thinking of another spell.
Teleportation circle is in the bard
Teleportation
spell
is
list.
in the bard spell list. I was looking at the wrong spell.
It's level 5 for me.
Okay. So I'm going to take the scroll, I'm going to shove it in Gail's hands, and I'm
He's
going
not
to
back
cast...
yet.
Ah!
I could make it bad with my dash and my bonus action and my movement to have... Even as far as ahead as it did, I did turn around.
But you used all your action to dash, didn't you?
Yeah, so you would
Yeah,
have
that'd have
used
been
your...
like 120.
you
I
would
can
have
at
used
least
your
get
speed.
60 back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I'm not back quite yet.
Did you roll yours, Isabella?
Yeah, I was just... yeah.
Oh no.
Dude, Isabella and I are hanging out together, and we are super not stealthy guys.
It's sort of just... It's circling overhead for a bit.
Just pretend you're dead. Feign death.
And it seems happy with its destruction. It circles overhead for a couple of rounds, and then actually flies off, not wanting to lose pace with the sky reach.
Oh, thank God. Aiden breathes a sigh of relief.
And you lose sight of it pretty quickly, being this deep in the forest.
But it heads south?
South,
It
yeah.
heads
Okay.
south towards trying to catch up with the Skyreach Fortress.
So, having seen the dragon kind of fly off, Aiden would head, obviously pretty loudly, through the woods towards where Whoosh, Gale, and Valor went.
Well, she's just standing there like crouched. She's not standing, but she's kind of crouched and shivering. She's covered in frost. She doesn't look very happy.
You were almost an icicle.
I grab at Aiden's leg when he passes.
Oh, shit.
This fucking full
Aiden
camera,
made,
man.
like, scream
Oh,
with
this is
his
just a
blade,
rock.
like, swinging down to point at whatever grabbed his leg.
I just like put a finger to my lip and look at you like frowning.
I don't want to
So-
talk about Fowler. Do you want this cloak? 'Cause that'd be great. Just look like a rock.
I'm full on items, unfortunately.
Aiden like freezes, having seen Falor, and slowly raises his glaive again and just stands there silently as told.
Mhm.
Which apparently is hard for me to do anyway. Jeez.
Belor hauls himself back up and like sits with his back to one of the trees. I'm gonna toss a second healing spell in the Whoosh's direction. Level 3 again.
You guys take a moment to collect yourselves.
That's an 8.
An 8?
Twice as
Okay.
effective on dead people.
Oddly quiet in the forest right now just because of how loud the last 30 seconds or so have been. So you're another 8 healing?
Yep.
Okay.
Just does it pick up?
Aiden
So
would
Isabella's standing there with the scroll in her hand. Sorry, what were you going to say?
well, Aiden would look at Whoosh after that and ask, how are you feeling?
Wish will look over to Aiden and then she'll mimic the sound of a goat bleeding an alarm.
Meh.
Yep.
How many? So then Aiden would kind of like hold out his hand to see if Whoosh would let him set his clawed hand on her shoulder. And if so, cast Lay on Hands.
Wish will actually permit that. She's pretty frightened and she
At this point, I
trusts
think
Aiden.
Isabella's more wounded than Whoosh.
Whoosh is the one that has frost on her feathers and looks terrified and is bleeding like a goat. Aiden has no like experience with
Oh, I know, that's just
her,
me.
so he thinks
In
she's
terms
dying.
of everyone's HP, yeah. Well, he seems to be gone. Let's get going.
So how
Do we
much
need
does she
me to
have?
clear this ground away
much
or
is that?
something? I just kind of start pushing shit out of the way for like a magic circle to be.
She has a pool of points. She can basically determine how many hit points. So 5 times your level. So 5 times 7 is the total number of healing points you could give out.
35.
Right. So I don't know how many Whoosh needs.
She's at 24 and she's usually
mean,
at
if-
49.
If
Oh,
we're
well,
leaving, we should
shit.
just kind of worry. We don't. Oh, so we're leaving. We're going back. We're taking the magic circle.
Yeah.
I think it probably just more of a
Like a comforting gesture. So full health.
Comforting
So he'd give you 5
heal, yeah.
points, kind of heal you up.
5? Okay.
As an attempt to calm you. Because he's never heard you bleat like a goat before.
Wish will kind of nod at Aiden and kind of flick her tail feathers.
Okay, so do we want to cast the spell now, or since it left us and we seem to be fine, do we want to camp for the night and see if we can figure out where we are in the morning?
We couldn't. When we were up in the sky, I couldn't see a damn thing up there. There's nothing around us.
We know more or less where we are. We're south of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Orc.
Parnass.
York.
Okay, just checking.
Don't really know what's down
we
here.
established we were going like south by southwest, right?
There's south.
I thought it was just south because we were on the edge of a
Almost.
forest and a moor.
almost due south, yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay, well, we know which direction they're going. We know where they started from. We don't really
Well-
need to know where we are.
I did see that pillar of smoke. Would I have any fucking clue where it is now?
I think having seen it on the back of a wyvern and landing and all this, I don't think you could get a positive direction on that. No.
Yeah.
After we landed, possibly, but after you just like had to
Barreled
turn
it
running at
through.
the speed of light
In
in a
fear.
direction that you didn't know, probably not.
Okay, so Isabella takes the scroll that has been in her hand this whole time and is crumpled, and she will just open it and try and smooth it out
Smooth
Right.
on your pant leg.
Gonna give her some guidance.
and cast it.
Okay. So she takes the couple minutes to prepare the spell. And as before, you see the sigil light up the dirt around her. And then as the spell completes, she rushes you all through. And for the second time, you have or the third time, I guess, you have the sensation of being stretched and then crumpled and then unfolded, and you're back in the room that you've seen once in the manor of the High Lord of Waterdeep's residence. One guard, half asleep, is kind of shaken awake at your sudden
She's no longer
unannounced
half asleep.
presence, and he kind of looks. We weren't expecting you back so soon. My lady is in rest for the evening. You look like you need a rest yourself, so I will take you to the guest quarters.
Fellow just nods.
And he leads you down the set of staircase again, closer towards the gate of the entrance, and there's a small chamber with a few beds for you to use. It's more of a barracks than a guest chambers, but you're free to spend the night there.
I do so with extreme prejudice.
Aiden doesn't seem to notice at all. He's happy to take a bunk.
Yep.
Okay.
Isabella makes sure that Whoosh is all tucked in and settled before she goes to her own bunk.
Wish will give Isabella puppy dog eyes and make
Aw.
cooing sounds.
You, the sensation of, it's a little weird because you have burns all over your body, but you're touching frostbite, so it's a very yin and yang type of pain.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
But you both have had a pretty rough couple of hours here.
They do the same thing, really.
They're basically the same thing, yeah. But you guys are free to, take a full rest, regain your hit points, all your spells.
Oh,
I'm starting to run low.
yeah, that was a little brutal.
That was close.
Holy crap.
Yeah, if I rolled any higher, wish you would have just been
Mhm.
dead.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
won
fine.
7 points.
Dead bird.
If that one dice that was a 1
Yeah.
had been
Oh
anything
my
other than
God.
a 1,
Fine, guys. I keep 300 gold pieces worth of diamond in my pockets.
there's a reason.
Wow.
You would not have found it funny, though.
No.
I mean, she
Um,
did, but even less.
Nothing else. I guess you guys just need a long rest.
Yeah, I think everyone was just like exhausted, semi-terrified, and can't believe that we actually have beds to sleep in tonight and we're not dying.
Yeah.
We have names which are important, and we have a direction.
Mm-hmm.
Morning comes.
Oh yeah.
And the modus operandi.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
even battered as she is, before going to sleep, Isabella would take a closer look at the letters just so she knows like what to say during our meeting tomorrow. And she wants to take a look at the book just in case she finds it more personally valuable rather than wanting to give it away.
Okay.
Did you want me to give you with the 9 hells?
Did you want me to give you another rundown of the context of the book?
Yeah, because I didn't skim the book. I just saw the title.
Sorry, so you're looking to read the book, or you said letters, right? Both, you said.
Well, I want to read the letters enough so that like I can basically give a better report than just the quick skimming that I did. Because I want to be able to give her the information, not just hand her the letters and say, "Here you go." Like I want to know what I'm telling her, and then I just basically want to know what the book is about. I don't need to deep dive into it.
Okay.
I want to confirm whether it's information on getting into the 9 hells.
Okay. It is. I mean, you can read it, and it is a book describing the summoning of demons from the 9 hells onto the mortal plane. More specifically, how to pierce the veil to allow greater demons to travel from the 9 hells to the material plane. It is not uncommon for wizards of some renown to summon demons as allies or minions, but people tend not to summon creatures too great into the world, as they would not be able to control them, or even have enough magic to pierce the veil that prevents them from crossing over freely. So specifically about that, the letters, they were being addressed to the wizard you believe was named Modar.
Modar.
And he was communicating with someone of a high rank within the dragon cult by the name of Severin. Upon further inspection, it was describing his Rathmordar's specific connection to the Red Wizards of Thay, and how he wishes to aid them in their attempt to summon Tiamat into the material plane.
Right.
In hopes to free himself from the tyranny of his
Leagues.
His lord, the lord of the Red Wizards. Anything else?
No, that no.
Were you looking for anything else specific with the books? Did I miss?
That recap helps my notes from last week make a lot more sense.
This is, this is in the book. So the final chapter of the book describes how to summon greater devils from the 9 hells, and it's a process of Basically, by means of sacrificing hundreds and hundreds of souls in a short period of time.
That's to do what?
It's a process of summoning souls to help pierce the veil to allow Tiamat to pass through to the material plane.
And is this book, is it about any level within the hells, or like just specifically where Tiamat is held?
Realistically, it could apply to probably any devil, but the process seems unique to each individual. So there's more to this ceremony, but that part's not described within the book.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I have in my notes the Well of Dragons. Is that where that sacrifice was supposed to take place?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm trying to take notes so that we don't forget all this stuff, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys can take a long rest. Some of you sleep in a little longer than others. Simple breakfast is delivered to you guys, and you're asked to wait in the quarters until the lady is available to see you. Yes.
I don't know if I want to know. I think Isabella would casually ask whoever like brought her food. So is that Darius guy still around, or is he out on work?
Who? Sorry?
Nobody. I must be thinking of the last place that Neverwinter. Yeah. Sorry, I got my places mixed up.
No problem. He seems genuinely to not recognize the name whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess 'cause he's a spy, hey?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That would make sense.
Just blow his cover.
Yeah, just blow your father's cover. He would deserve it.
Just fucking narked on him like his full name. Darius Lascos.
Darius Vincent Lascos.
Oh, his middle name's Vincent, huh?
I mean, it doesn't really fit the naming scheme. I just made it up, but you know.
All right. You guys, it's about mid-morning, and you guys are finally escorted again by a guard to a sitting room, and you see the lady sitting there, poring over a stack of envelopes that seem to be addressed to her, and sorry, I just want to get to her page here. She upon you entering the room, she stands and she bows graciously and asks you to take a seat. There's a few empty chairs and a Chesterfield for you guys to all sit around. The room is well lit. Books, again, all around. She doesn't show too much emotion on her face, but she does perhaps seem slightly surprised to see you so soon, and she leads with that, saying, I hadn't expected you to complete this task so quickly.
we maybe rushed the process a bit, and and then figured we should get out while we were ahead, but we did get we think some valuable information.
Information is good. Her interest seems piqued at that mentioning. She says, what did you discover of the fate of Parnast?
Well, it seems like the village is operating as normal, albeit under the direct control of this cult. The villagers seem to be going about their lives, but there was a pretty heavy feeling in the air. There was a flying castle, so that was cool.
At this point, Phandelver interjects, saying Lork.
Saying what, sorry?
Saying Lork. Lork.
Oh, like just saying the town name?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too. We stopped in Lork first, and the town was decimated. Aside from the Zentarum?
Yeah, the trade post that was owned by the Zenitarum?
Yeah, pretty much.
My spelling in my notes is really phonetic, which turns out at this point is actually not phonetic. So
Zhentarim. Zenitharum. Zenitharum. Zeus. What? That's right, that one.
Mm-hmm.
She says, so I guess I will add another town to the list, and she gestures to the letters. She's saying, I've been getting reports from all up and down the coast of Swords that cities similarly have been attacked in some way. But my information was correct then, that Parnast was the last stop for these convoys, and you say they were loading these goods onto the floating island?
Yes. And as far as we can tell, the castle was heading south. We were on it for insert approximate number of hours here.
Like one, not even one.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey?
Yeah, from the point you guys got to Parnast and the time you spent in the tower, the castle. Well, there was more time tracking it, so it'd probably be almost 2 hours from the time you got to Parnast to the time you got into the air to the time you started traveling.
We know whose castle it was, right?
Yes.
Look at Fowler.
Yes, that was in the letter.
Okay.
So we found these letters in the castle. I'll pull out the stack and hand them to her, I guess. And
owned by the Cloud Giants, then.
Mm-hmm. It was like a partnership. Three ways?
Well, the Giants still own the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, owned by the Giants, working in partnership with Rathmodar of the Wizards of Thay, working in partnership with Severin of the Cult.
That is disconcerting. If the Giants are an aid to the cult, that is a bigger problem, no pun intended, but there are giants even just to the north of Waterdeep in the Sword Mountains. I'll definitely have to look into that. You mentioned the one name there. What was it?
Rathmodar and Severin.
Rathmodar, okay, and Severin. What do you know about these two individuals?
Well, we ran into Rathmodar?
The one guy's bald. She doesn't say that. That's all me. She would, yeah, just pass forward the information we've heard a couple times of where their allegiances are and such.
This is a lot of information.
We kind of accidentally beelined for the source of information.
So I take it you weren't able to. Not that I would have expected it, but you weren't able to ascertain how the council moved about or
It flew
exactly where it was going.
south.
South.
Yeah.
South of Parnas.
South of Parnas.
Do we have
Faster than a wyvern
map?
flies.
We can at least know where we were, or at least an idea of maybe how far we got. There was a swamp, and then there was a forest, and we just took off into the forest.
Yeah, you probably were in between the Lonely Moor and
Yeah.
But there's a lot.
Yeah,
South
but
of
like
there.
for the idea of like this is where we got, this is where we stopped.
Mm-hmm. Based
Almost-
on
Almost straight south.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's something in the letters, right? A name of a place.
Yeah. So I'll mention that the letters spoke of a place called the Well of Dragons, and so we can guess that might be, if not the final location, at least of significance.
Well,
Well,
someone
dragon.
someone was saying they were piling loot up for this, like that's where all the loot was going.
okay.
Was
so
to go onto the castle and was being brought somewhere, and that sounds like a place to drop it off.
that definitely narrows our search at least to the south.
Do you have increased reports of caravan activity or travel to certain cities in the south that seems unusual?
Our best lead was Parnas at this point. We've had letters coming in from north and south of cities being attacked and looted, similarly to yours and Lorik and many other places.
Isabel wants to look about the room surreptitiously and see if, I don't know, maybe the spy that was here last time is spying on us now. He's going to show up like he did last time.
There's no one else in the room except for the guard standing by the door.
Have we mentioned the dragon?
No sneaky eye holes
Nope.
in paintings.
Then I will mention the dragon.
Right. That's why we had to cut such a hasty retreat.
Well, they were banging on our door, and then we got outside.
And they were big and banging on the door.
Given the description of this castle, I assume White Dragon fits the MO for such a place.
Yes.
You can roll a perception check if you want to see if anyone is spying on you.
I'm looking for one person in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding off on saying something, mostly because
Ooh.
I think I know why Isabel's looking around.
You feel pretty confident that no one else is watching.
Okay. Let's say one other piece of information that's probably best to keep from any other beings that were involved with this, maybe the last time we were here. Nonverbal wink wink nudge nudge. So it looks like we found some evidence that they want to, well, we talked about before how they want to release Tiamat from the hells, and it looks like they have found a ritual to do that, to summon greater demons from the nine hells. So I'm telling her this, but I'm not bringing the book out.
Oh. She glances through the letters once more, and she says, "Where did you come across this information? Did you overhear it, or?"
There was another portion on the desk that we couldn't grab in time.
Roll a deception check.
Hmm.
Her expression doesn't change. She seems to believe what you're saying. Well, that is more disconcerting if they've found the means to do so. I suppose I will have to call a council meeting and see if I can pull in more people besides the Lord's Alliance for this. This is definitely, you've given me enough information here to definitely put this as a potential threat to the entirety of Faerun. So I will arrange a meeting for a few days' time.
Or other claws.
Perhaps I could get your advice on one other thing. I have some agents far to the south, not far from Candlekeep, on a mission. I've been sent a message earlier today that they have found a hatchery of sort with potentially housing eggs of a dragon. Given that you have more experience dealing with these creatures than most of my agents, I have my own opinion, but I'd like a second opinion on this. What do you think we should do? Should I send my agents in to cut and burn, destroying the eggs, or should I perhaps tell them to do something else with them, keep them? Do you think they might be useful as a bargaining chip? Do the cultists seem to actually care if they lose members or potential members or dragons? I mean, they're a dragon cult, so I assume they care about the lives of dragons, but
The dragon would probably. They'd probably care, but I'd be worried about Andrain the dragon.
Aiden
Yeah,
would,
go
I
ahead.
think, at that point mention that the dragon essentially tore the wyverns in half, but then bring up how in Phandelver, the second group came to essentially avenge the death of the
If
dragon.
they don't know who did it. If you take the dragon eggs, they'll probably be able to follow that. But if you just take them all out, that's a problem solved. But then, I mean,
unless you raise them for your purposes.
Yeah, but I mean, planets are kind of all dits anyway.
There are definitely dragon-blooded in their ranks.
Okay, well, I have agents in place to move in. They had a large encampment set up in the south, but after they finished decimating and pillaging the villages in the surrounding area, they moved. The main force moved on, but the hatchery remained. I assume they can't move the eggs due to the gestation period of dragons.
Did they leave guards behind?
There are guards, but this is I know this group I have can handle the task. I'm sort of looking for your input on how to respond. I can make the decision myself, but if I was to give the command, it might give disfavor amongst the other factions. But if I was to say you were in charge of the operation, it may cause less recourse amongst varying ranks and
Put the blood on someone else's hands.
it sounds worse than it is. I assure you, it's more so. It would look more disconcerting if I acted on my own behalf rather than on behalf of a group of adventurers only wishing to save the land.
What are you able to at least tell us what your opinion on it would be? Because
Yes.
On one hand, they're probably. Do you know what color they're like? They're probably chromatic, and they're probably gonna grow up to be dits. But that's, I mean, killing things before they're even born just sounds wrong.
Her opinion on it. I agree with you. I would leave the dragon hatchery intact, but I would secure them. Secure the eggs. Perhaps we can use them as a bargaining chip. They may grow up to turn on us, but maybe once all this is over, we can just release them into the wild and they can live out their life as a normal dragon, not fueled by fanaticism of a cult.
Upbringing is important.
Sorry, you both.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Tinox.
Fedor seems doubtful of this.
Aiden just says
keeping them, or-
upbringing is important.
Of trying to that's not the word I'm looking for, but
I could have them perhaps capture the eggs and have them delivered here. It would be a little bit more risky, but
I think the cultists would care. I don't think they would be willing to negotiate. I think if they knew you had them or were moving in to grab them, then there might be a counterattack. They might not care that they're there right now, but if they knew you were interested, I think then they would care more and they wouldn't negotiate.
so you're more for to just. So you're saying you would, if you were in charge of the operation, you would destroy them, or just keep them alive?
I'm not sure. I
Has
would
a
do
mortal
anything with
ever
them.
raised dragons to not be assholes? Like, we fought that green dragon last year, and he was a young green dragon, but he had a bunch of cultists, or we had at least, I don't know if they were cultists. I think I remember.
Yeah, they were.
He had these guys with them, and that's like a bad influence.
I've discussed this with my co-leader in the one of my co-leaders in the Lord's Alliance. Never Ember. You're familiar with him. He proposed that we capture the eggs and we can ransom them or sell them off to a bidder. He has contacts throughout the sea that would pay good money to attempt to do just that. I have not heard of anyone successfully raising a chromatic dragon to follow its command unless they are in fact themselves
Not
akin
follow his
to the
command,
dragon.
but just not be like to not be the way they are. I don't like the idea of someone selling someone as slavery, though.
It is within their very blood to be very aggressive and ferocious.
Yeah, you can still try and temper that with teaching. That's my opinion.
So you're proposing using
keep them
the
where
eggs
they
in some
are,
way.
and like take out the cultists, keep them where they are, try and raise good chromatic dragons. As hilarious as that it is, I don't like what Neverember likes, selling them in this essentially as slavery.
Essentially, yes, that would be...
Yeah, no.
All right.
You are the Open Lord of Waterdeep. The Lord's Alliance is far above us. Whatever you both decide, you're going to decide that with or without our say. But I, for one, don't fancy being your scapegoat.
Very well. I will...
But I agree with Gil.
I will secure the hatchery and make sure it is not destroyed, and then what we do with the eggs after that, we will perhaps bring up... We'll table it for the first meeting. I'll need a couple weeks to send out missives and have everyone arranged to make their way here to Waterdeep. Perhaps you would like to... You're free to use the guest quarters that were provided for you while you stay. And I will send you a summons when the meeting will be held. You have a few weeks' time, though, so if you wish to return home, I can arrange that as well.
Sorry, clarify. She wants us at a meeting for... I zoned out for a minute.
She's going to be holding a meeting with the heads of multiple factions, not just the Lord's Alliance.
Okay.
And they're going to discuss how to handle the issues at hand, and she wants you there having first-hand knowledge on it.
Okay, thank you.
So, I think at that point, despite his discipline, especially in the face of decorum, Aiden would speak up and ask, is it possible that in the meantime, you could send us south to investigate some of those rumors with the understanding that we would be back by the time of this meeting?
Farther south than Parnast?
Farther south, wherever you're getting these rumors from. We know that that's where the castle went. I think that it would be best to follow up on it immediately, given that we know it's going somewhere there now. So the more that we can collect information on the rumors, the more that we would be able to testify in front of this committee of yours.
Is it your intention to just survey the towns, or are you wishing to suss out the location of the cult itself? Because
in
I
a
feel
way,
like
they're one and the same. We would go to the towns, trace the rumors, find out where the castle's going.
How many days was this meeting away,
It
potentially?
was like several weeks.
she said it would be a couple of weeks for her to get, like, she'll send messages out rather quickly, but it'll take a couple of weeks for all the leaders of the factions to make their way to...
Without the teleport
Waterdeep.
spell, how long would it have taken us to just get to Loudwater?
A month.
Fair. But we had the
That's
teleport spell.
to
And
Loudwater.
Aiden would
If
look
she
at
can give
the
us
lady.
more.
Right,
We don't-
like this
Oh,
is
okay.
this is a way for us to gather information. If she can teleport us somewhere, we teleport back. We bring a lot of information. We could add more information to this meeting and make it more worthwhile for all the lords and ladies in attendance.
She gestures again to the stack of letters. She says, I have letters from
As far as we can
from
get
cities
logs.
all across the Sword Coast. Some of them attacked weeks ago. Some of them a few days past. All of my reports had the caravans converging on Parnast. I'll have more information gathered once I have the meeting, but I could send you as far south as Baldur's Gate. I guess you guys probably can't see it on the map.
Nope.
Can
Yeah,
you
it
ping
doesn't
it?
go that far.
Oh, it doesn't go down.
Boulder State here, isn't it?
Oh,
It
okay.
is.
But
if you sent us to Baldur's Gate with a scroll to get us back here in time to speak to the lords and ladies who gather, perhaps we would have more information from down there.
it's a possibility. I'm just not sure what you would discern from sifting through the wreckage of a dragon attack.
Aiden would kind of smile and say, well, we're full of surprises and we've proven very well able to gather a lot of information, and this was from a simple jaunt to the east.
True, but I had good authority that the cult had activity there. I'm not sure where I would send you specifically to.
I'm going to step forward and put a hand on Aiden's shoulder and say we can take time to think about it.
Let me make a quick roll here. She kind of looks to you for a moment, Aiden, and she says, do you have some personal stake in this? You seem very adamant about tracking these cultists down immediately without any information.
Aiden would nod. He's not deceptive at all. I do. My friend was taken captive by them. And he'd give the approximate time frame. I'm not clear on how long ago Elsden was taken, but he would mention that, and that on good information, Elsden was a part of the caravan that was going this way, and that's why he wants to follow where the Ice Castle is going, because he believes that the caravans are converging on those locations.
So
and that will give them valuable information into both the cult, where future attacks might be occurring, so that they can prepare the cities. If the castle's moving south, it might be warranted to fortify some of the cities in the south, because we know cultist activity is moving to the south.
see. Well, I will definitely consider it. It seems as though you might have to discuss things with your party members, but it is disconcerting. I wish I knew why they were taking so many people. They never really. The hoard of gold and items makes sense, but the people, it doesn't add up.
What about the conversation? Yes. I thought there was some discussion, and I guess maybe I'm mistaken, but didn't Isabella tell the lady that there was a certain number of sacrifices that needed to be made? I wrote down, sacrifice thousands of souls to bring Tiamat back.
It probably didn't specify, but at saying that, she would say, yeah, those people are likely for the summoning ritual, and explain why.
Okay. So they have need of them kept alive, then?
For a certain amount of time.
Yes, they've been on the move for a few months now, but for an undertaking this big, I imagine we have a bit of leeway. I understand your personal stake in this, but as there are many lives at stake, and many more if they are successful, I would perhaps urge you to to err on the side of caution, given the events you experienced attempting to infiltrate the Skyreach Castle. Come to the meeting, listen to what we have to say, and the council will share all the information we have on the cult, and we can use you to help stop their plans. I do not wish to see you die going headlong into battle with an entire organization. Even if I was to send you to a town, the number of attacks are so numerous and widespread that I couldn't pinpoint an exact place. You could wait at a place and it never get attacked. You could There
This
are
is our search radius. If we for about a month or less, if we go to Baldur's Gate,
I
that's
see
a
what you're
lot.
saying.
It's actually a little bit further. I just can't get the fucking circles to go how I want them to. It'd be out to here, but like that's a lot of places we would be searching. A lot of ground to cover. Only a few weeks. I was put like that's more like towards 8. It's like that's a lot of ground to cover.
It is an option, and I will gladly send you to Baldur's Gate if you wish. But perhaps there's some other business that you guys need to take care of personally. I don't know. Let me know at the end of the evening what you decide. Either way, I hope you do still come to the meeting, because we will have use of you. Is there any other questions you have of me?
Aiden gives a short shake of his head.
You know, a good inn to stay if we
No.
decide to stay here.
There are quite a few inns in Waterdeep.
One you
Oh.
would stay at.
Didn't she say we could stay in the guest?
I didn't
She did.
realize.
Yeah,
Oh, she did?
I
I
would.
remember that.
If I was given a place to stay for free, I probably would choose there. But
I honestly wasn't. I didn't catch that.
just check in with the guard when you come and go. Just not for keeping tabs on you, just so we know who is coming and going, and to be sure that someone is not trying to infiltrate under the guise of one of you.
Yeah, I mean, with the right person, it can be quite easy.
Aiden would salute.
Do not lose hope for your friend yet. I have feelings that we will find clues leading to his recovery, and saving your friend may mean saving the world. Not to be too dramatic, but it seems as though they're a lot more organized than we originally thought.
And they're probably gonna have to do everything all at once. We just gotta get there in time, otherwise who fucking cares at that point? If they succeed. Not much we can do.
So, yes, if you have no other further questions, I have to get back to reading these missives and making arrangements for the meeting.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Nothing further.
She sort of gestures to the guard, and he leads you out of the room.
Right.
Kind of takes you back to the quarters, and he shows you the entrance he'd like you to enter and exit from in Waterdeep.
When we're alone, Isabella turns to Aiden and says, I wonder if we might be better served if you do want to search for your friend in these next couple of weeks. I wonder if we'd be better served traveling back towards Phandelver, because we would have beaten any caravan that they sent to Parnas. So I don't believe he'd be on that castle. I think going south would be going further away.
Yeah.
We might have more luck finding him on trying to cross paths with that caravan, and it would be a smaller search radius closer to Waterdeep.
How many days did it take us to get from Loudwater to Parnas? Like only a couple?
Three?
Three?
Something like that.
About 3 days, yeah.
So that means we're on the Tribor Trail, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a number of
Yeah, Phandelver would be over here.
Yeah,
there's a
but
few large settlements along the
depends
long
on
road
where
and
they
a few
were.
small settlements.
They came up from the south, right?
Yes.
You guys
Right.
chased from the south.
They
Because I
kind
think
of
Thornhold was like in between Leylon and Waterdeep Brew.
But I don't think they were headed to Parnast.
yeah, it was
But that's where all the caravans were going.
Well,
Last
if a cloud
information we heard.
castle just pits them up wherever they need to, then
they kind of did this sort of
But it wasn't over there.
Do all of them report to Parnast? Because
Well, that was the last information we had was that there was reports of all these caravans converging onto Parnast.
but that
So
might
the
not be
assumption
all.
was made that that's where they would go, and the castle didn't come from the west. The castle came from the north, right?
the castle was
Prior
already
to
here when we
Parnast.
got here.
It was in Parnast, but
it passed
we
overhead
saw
the
it,
day
yeah.
before.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, coming from the north. So it wouldn't have been over by Leylon or Phandalin, because that's the other direction.
Tribor.
So I think it's a safer assumption that they would still be on the road heading south, because if the castle's going south, then even if they weren't going to Parnast, they still need to meet up with the castle somewhere.
Depends whether all the
Unless they have
fingers
multiple castles.
Well,
the
so
castle.
Eldon was with that elven woman because he's the one that gave her his cloak. We met the
Mhm.
elven woman in Phandalin.
Mhm.
She was one of the hostages we captured. But she didn't know, correct me if I'm wrong, she didn't know which way Elsden's caravan left.
She didn't.
She didn't know.
But here's what I have in mind. At Phandalin, we fought Black Dragonkin.
Mm-hmm.
The castle was guarded by a white dragon.
Mm.
It's possible it is taking loot from more than one of the fingers they mentioned. But if they're operating independently, then they don't have anything to do with each other.
But if they're all wanting to free Tiamat, then they all have to converge onto this Well of Dragons at some point.
Yes.
So
our
where's
best
the
bet
palm?
would just be find that.
How much do we know about dragons? Like, do we know whether they like each other or?
Generally, the chromatics tend to. They're not as social with one another as the metallics. They definitely have a hierarchy, red being the top. But I mean, if they're all under one banner, they all do tend to worship Tiamat as their god. How well they would work together is hard to say, as you don't have much experience of dragons working together as it is.
Our best bet would just be trying to figure out where this Well of Dragons is, I think.
It would be,
Mhm.
yes.
It's like we don't even know, assuming they don't have a cloud castle, which probably they probably have something that they would be anywhere all on the Tribor Trail going south, but then they would, if they were going to Parnas, they would probably cross the river somewhere before here, and that could be anywhere up along the river.
All you know is they were traveling by land initially.
Yeah, it could be.
And with caravans, they'd have to cross
Anywhere.
over a bridge or a ford of some kind. Like, they wouldn't be able to just cross anywhere
Right.
with caravans.
Only place would be like, assuming I'm looking at a map, would be like, is this place here?
Can you see
Yartar?
anything on?
Yeah, I
Or
can
they're
see Yartar.
passing by Waterdeep itself.
I
which
Right.
is
doubt
a
they would want to
possibility.
walk past Waterdeep with people. It like, I don't know. They would cross the river and then just go through the woods.
I know
Who
it
fucking
is in the
dangerous.
long.
That's assuming they were even going to Parnast. I think just going straight to the source would be the best bet. Is there like a library, a place we could just do research to figure out some of this shit?
Waterdeep, surely.
Yeah. I think they just.
What are you trying to figure out specifically? Like, I mean, you wouldn't know exactly where they're traveling, but you would
No.
know if they were traveling by. Okay, well, if they traveled north around the mountains towards Phandelver, they would probably. They mentioned something. They mentioned Tribor Trail, and going south of Tribor. So the only road you know of traveling south is the long road. Where
Which
they might
goes
rendezvous
past Waterdeep eventually.
eventually goes past Waterdeep. So if you were just by chance trying to come in contact with them, assuming they're traveling on the main road or even adjacent, you would take the long road north and try to cut them off at the pass somewhere.
That's assuming they didn't just cut through the wilderness.
Which you can't do with
Right.
caravans. If you have caravans of prisoners and loot, you can't cut through the wilderness.
I mean, yeah, they'd get their wagons
Or
stuck.
you'd
There'd be
be-
all sorts of shenanigans going on. That's part of the reason that they stick to the road, is so that their wheels can go. They don't break
and then you
down.
can hide, right?
So I'm saying we
at the
could.
trade caravan.
It'll be a couple days before they even pass Waterdeep. Let's maybe just try and figure out what the fuck this Well of Dragons is, and then what? Like go stake out the road for a couple days,
Yeah,
just in case they pass by.
Yeah, I think spending a day or two like trying to figure out if there's any reference to the Well of Dragons might be useful, but I think if we want to use this time to find Elsden, then we should use the time, you know.
So, first of all, Aiden seems oddly touched that you guys are thinking about Elsden also. Like he seems very thankful, and he would agree with you, and he seems, now that you have recognized his concern, he seems much more willing to go on whatever path the group decides. He will offer that I'm not much one for books, but I can really guard a road.
So it would probably be if they were at Tribor or near Tribor, they would have to have gotten to the place, I suppose, first. Or however they would have gotten to the road. And then it probably would have been about the time that we spent walking, they would have gotten most of the way down the road.
And Elsden himself wasn't in
So they probably have a day, maybe two, to catch them out there.
This is
so
this
we
is
could
where
watch the road.
This is where Aiden's city was.
And wasn't the
So it
Mirror
would
of
make more
Dead
sense.
Men where he followed the caravan? Because he
Yeah.
followed it north. So
You
it
tracked
wasn't
the
the Mirror.
caravan through the Myrrh.
Yeah.
Weird. So it was going up
That's
north
fucking weird.
around the mountains rather than just
Did as many
south?
people?
Yeah, I think it was sort of implied that they sort of started in the Mirror of Dead Men, like there was probably a dragon living there and the cult kind of formed around them.
So
Yeah,
Red
'cause that's
Larch
where
would
the
probably
mom
be where
was.
they are right now. And that gives them another almost the same amount of time to get. So that we have maybe 2.5 days in front of them. We're 2.5 days in front of them.
Yeah, they're keeping to that road.
If they're
Right.
keeping to the long road, period.
There's potential to ride north or even check to see if there's any word coming down from the long road of any attacks.
Yeah.
There's definitely some options for you guys.
So I think Aiden he'd be willing to listen to others. So it's absolutely not him saying this is what he's going to go do. But he would want to leave Waterdeep and head out towards the long road so that he could meet them on the road, just in case he wants to kind of meet them before the fork in the road. You see what I'm saying? And he would readily admit that he's not one for reading books. That was Elsden's thing. So he's not going to be of any help in figuring out where the Well of Dragons is, except he speaks Draconic. So if there's books that were written in Draconic...
We don't even know what the library has.
Right. But he would offer the fact, I mean, in case people didn't catch on with him commanding the Wyverns, like, he speaks Draconic. So, Will of Dragons, maybe it's written in Draconic. Maybe we need him around. But he's not going to be one that's super organized and great with research.
I mean, I don't think we should go separate ways.
We wouldn't be doing all the same thing anyway, and this isn't a super research-intensive party.
Fair enough.
Isabella would defer to Aiden and say, like, Gail and I have been doing a lot of talking about this, but ultimately this is your friend and your...
We have more than just the next couple days. We could go up the wrong road, figure out where that thing is, then come back and figure out what we're doing after that. If it means finding something in the library, then that's what that means. But your thing, finding your friend, is probably more pressing.
After a moment, Aiden nods. Then let's make ready to head out. And if we can wait there for a few days, and if he doesn't come down that caravan road within the time frame that we think should happen, then we will, we're within distance of Waterdeep. We can talk to all the politicians and go from there.
If we figured they might have gotten to Red Larch by now, there might be people ahead of them in the city who have gotten word. So maybe hitting the streets, seeing what everybody is, what the people are saying, and then...
And gather supplies at the same time. We'll, like, hit the streets of Waterdeep today, gather supplies, talk to people, plan to head out tomorrow morning.
Find some horses or something, and then, yeah, we'll head up.
Yeah.
We got all day today.
You do recall your first meeting with Lady Silverhand. She met you in her personal library. I mentioned it was like a 2-story room with books. So I'm sure if you were interested in doing any kind of research, you could definitely do it there. Perhaps even make an inquiry.
Seems like right now we're just gonna go down, see if there's any refugees, and then head up north.
What Aiden would suggest is anyone who's booky, ask about the Well of Dragons and do some research today here, because this is likely a resource we don't have anywhere else. The rest of us will go, so like smart people here, other people go buy supplies and horses and everything.
So you're saying we should just go buy supplies and horses and everything?
Yeah.
Isabella's not booky. She likes secrets and information, but she's not great at it. She's not smart.
Oh my god, no one in this...
No one's got intellect.
No.
You are our first strength character, so welcome to the strength, being our strength person.
Yay.
No, Dollar's got tons of strength now.
Now, we are all debts, wisdom, and charisma.
Oh, shit.
We have 3 charisma characters now.
Yeah. We are like, everyone loves us. We're super charismatic, guys.
So,
in a weird kind of misfit way, I think. Like, we're like those are those weird guys, but you know what? They're kind of cool too, I guess.
Yeah.
Where we have
like those cool weirdos.
Tiefling, we have a cat person, we have a bird person, we have a dragon person, and now the dwarf.
It's like the UN.
I said we're the menagerie.
Yep.
That's why Isabella didn't want to be the scapegoat for the dragon eggs thing, because none of us look remotely human. And it's just going to be this, like...
Those
discriminatory
guys.
thing.
I would.
Yeah, we just kind of made ourselves cool with the Neverwinter. I don't want them turning around and be like, "Hey, you guys chose the wrong choice." It's, well, fuck you too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
I was
Tinox
having a
is the
hard time
normie.
with that one. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And a
"Oh."
dwarf. He is our token
He's
dwarf
the
minority.
He's the normal one actually.
Broken standard race.
He's
Yeah.
more common than the rest of you, that's for sure. Well,
Common as dirt.
it sounds like I have some idea of what you guys might do.
It's hard to tell, really. I'm not sure what they might do.
So it sounds like we don't really have any research types.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
My guess
It's information
is
you
like.
want.
Go ahead.
Just
Sorry.
top.
If it's information you want, Isabella would go and look for it. I'm just saying she's not necessarily good at research, but she would try.
Yeah, you could always pose an inquiry to the lady as well. She might know. She definitely seems like the researchy type.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably already looking for that kind of stuff. I figured
Yeah,
we
I mean,
might be able to find something in another library, but if we just be using the same source, then it's like,
Right, because we told her about the Well of Dragons
Yeah,
and all
we
the
did.
important names and everything. So fair enough. Leave it to the experts. All right, let's get some materials.
You're the
and-
mercenaries.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah, we
some
just hit stuff.
materials and talk to people in the city and see if there's any rumors coming about caravans coming from the north.
yeah.
mm.
Okay.
I can hit the
Fellow,
street.
are
I
you
can hit
definitely,
the taverns.
What's that?
Feller's definitely going to support any course of action that's not like twiddling his thumbs. So
Mhm.
Just keep moving.
Um,
Fowler, did you want to get the supplies? I can hit the taverns. Maybe you, Aiden, you can talk to like soldiers or people on guard or shit like
yeah,
that.
I'll go bullshit with the
And
city
Isabella,
guard.
you could probably just talk to the people on the street, and Whoosh could follow you.
good job,
Whoosh
Brandon.
just kind of stares at Gale.
And they just kind of hold my arms like a big shark. It's like, sorry.
Hello,
Can ask
we
the
are
same
the-
questions Isabella asks
Oh,
as an
yeah.
echo.
Whoosh just kind of puts her hand on Isabella's shoulder and makes like a chuckling noise, like a mimicking somebody laughing.
Okay.
Do you have
Yeah,
a
exactly
moment to
like
talk about our Lord and Savior?
But which one?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
All right. Yeah, which one is right? So I'll get everyone to roll an investigation check, which I think is also intelligence.
it's intelligence.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Sucks for you guys.
Because I'm a bard hitting up the taverns, can I get like
Yeah.
more
persuasion.
charisma? Somehow
Actually,
in
that's
there?
that's a good point. If I'll
Yeah,
say,
you don't have to use them with the.
I'll say persuasion to get people to talk about things. Actually, if you could use persuasion or investigation, I'll give you the
Son
option.
of a bitch.
I made a living doing this
Eh.
Nice.
before I decided to get killed by creatures.
Okay, not bad.
I'm just buying supplies.
You guys get you talk to a lot of people, and there's people, refugees coming up from Waterdeep as far south as traveling by boat from Boulder's Gate. It seems like a lot of the places down south have been hit hard. Things farther north than Waterdeep are a little more recent, but just as numerous. Aiden, you talking to the guards, they actually point out people coming down the long road, fleeing. Some people are fleeing Red Lark ahead of the word of dragon attacks. No reports as of yet. And Isabella, you actually talked to someone who was from had a home in Tribor, and they sent word to them in Neverwinter about dragon attacks in the area, or it's cult attacks. Sorry, when I say dragon, I mean dragon cult.
Yeah.
And they actually fled Neverwinter in fear that it might be a location of attack, thinking Waterdeep might be a safer city.
Oh.
Neverwinter's pretty big, though. Have they hit anything that big?
They haven't yet hit anything too big. Tribor is probably one of their biggest targets, but it's also sort of a frontier town, so it's a little more. There's places that could send reinforcements, but not enough that they could spare if the dragon cult would have planned to attack them as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's also numerous settlements dotted throughout the lands that are just unnamed on the map because the population's so low that it's not worth it, right? But still possessing valuables. Yeah, you do get word of dragon attacks coming down the long road.
Anything from Thornhill?
Thornhill, given that Thornhill is basically just there is a town and a environment, like there's a city around it. It is a hold. It is a there's Thornhill, sorry, it's called, but it is a hold. There is a castle and a keep that is point of defense, so it is a little more well guarded than most settlements of its size. You being the captain of the guard, know it would be a hard place for a ground force to invade. If they had a dragon, it might cause some issues, but there is ballista along the keep walls.
But it doesn't look like they tried to attack it at all. So essentially they left from the Mere of Dead Men, and it looks like they're coming around the other way. They're not coming down through Thornhill.
Yeah, and that they actually avoided Leylon. You know this, and they attacked settlements around it, and they definitely didn't head towards Neverwinter. Given that you guys stopped a big part of the group yourselves, they were the letter that you got off of the one guy when you fought him in Phandelver mentioned they were rendezvousing with a larger group.
Okay.
So it is one possibility for you guys.
Have we heard anything from Long Saddle, north of Tribor? I'm just wondering. You say they're rendezvousing with a larger group. I'm wondering if that larger group is coming down from the north.
Between the three of you, you'd no word of anything farther north than Tribor yet.
Which checks out because they have some tiefling there that's lived for like 700,000 years, so you could probably kill them all.
In Long Saddle?
Isn't that where
Wasn't that in Long Saddle?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a retired adventurer that lived there, and he made an obnoxiously large manor.
That's where the
It's where
mages
you guys
chill out. The Harpers. They're in Lonsdale, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they want to hit up the Lonsdale.
They might not know that, but
that's just like a whole house of wizards.
Not sure too many people would actually, outside of the Harpers, would actually probably know that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's where you guys bought horses, and you traveled through Neverwinter Woods, if you recall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of passed through. I'm taking my knowledge of the setting more than what we experienced.
So, you guys could. What kind of materials do you think you would be gathering up, Phandelver? More horses?
Yeah. Mounts, food for the road, don't think we used up any of the other stuff we had.
Do we need more healing potions? We had quite a few, right?
We didn't really use them much though.
Right.
Yeah.
I am going to get a gem worth at least 25 gold.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna need much more in the immediate.
Normal pace, 24 miles a day. Okay. Unless it's like something specific, unless it's like potions or something, I assume you purchased what you need. Horses, though, would be about for good riding horses. I kind of put them at about 50 gold a piece.
Mm-hmm.
The gem, you said the 25 gem. You're looking for a gem worth 25 gold.
Yeah.
Is that for a spell component or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys need spell components of anything like that, I'll assume you'll have time to find those. Just make sure you mark them off accordingly.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
So I'm assuming that I'm gonna get everyone to pay for their own mount. Everyone remove 50 gold from your
Okay.
character sheet.
Cool.
Except Aiden, I'm paying for yours.
Oh, thank you. Aiden looks thankful and promises to buy you a drink. And mentions something about how captain's salary is not that great.
Stop me if anybody else is like doing something while we're all apart, but when we get back together, Isabella might mention if we know that there's a larger caravan, larger group that they're meeting up with, do we maybe want our own reinforcements?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of reluctant to consider doing, especially if it sounded like some of us wanted it split up and watch the road. It's like, no, I think we want all of us together.
Who did you have in mind?
Well, maybe if Lady Silverhand was willing to give us some magic support, maybe if we're staying closer to Waterdeep, she'd be willing to give us some
Soldiers?
strength support.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if we know where they are, I don't think it would be too hard to ask her to bring some soldiers up with us. If they're coming down the road, and if they're not, well then, no big loss.
It's a regular patrol around her territory. It's warranted in these times.
This is a little more certain than exploring south.
Yeah.
Indeed, and it makes sure that we're within range to come back very quickly should she have need of our testimony.
I mean, at most, we're gonna probably go as far as Red Larch. I don't see us go.
Yeah,
We might have to hit Westbridge, but that's also if
Well,
they do
well,
follow
it's
the
about
road.
time.
It's about 10 days to Red Lark.
I was
from
thinking we
Waterdeep.
would be like like in the fork in the road.
We're going up until we meet something, I think.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it'd be best if we stop them as far up as we can, because then, I mean, if we get to Red Lark, we can whittle. We might even be able to kind of help protect the town.
Okay. Have we
We
gotten
can-
word that Red Lark has been attacked yet, or just that people are fleeing
Just
as of right now?
Tribor.
Okay.
Did anything from Westbridge? There was any news from Westbridge?
From Westbridge?
Yeah, but
Yeah, Isabella heard mention of smaller settlements around Westbridge also experiencing dragon attacks.
okay, so they're probably as far as we might not even have to, we might not even get to the town, so just going up as far as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, it might.
I doubt even with reinforcements we could tackle them ourselves.
I would even see not taking them out. Just maybe try and rescue a bunch of people as we can. I know they have the Kobold attack force. They lost their dragon, but we don't know what their other group has that might have another dragon.
Right, it was a larger group. But if we got to Red Lark first and we're able to reinforce it, we might have a better chance. Even if we couldn't get there, it's really hard to suppress like guerrilla warfare. So we could harry them along the way of the long road all the way south. Take out a couple a day.
Problem with that is they have hostages. That
They
I know they're
want
saving
their-
for the sacrifice, but they could easily find more if
They were perfectly willing to kind of do away with some of them right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably have more dragons.
I feel like our best bet would be to get in, save get in, save your friend, save what we can, and then get out.
Remember
But
that I
then
can speak
keeping
to the lady when I want to.
And then we can tell. It'd be not all we're raising an alarm.
Well, you have time to come up with a game plan as far as how you might approach a caravan.
Well, it's kind of useless to do it now because we don't know what the caravan is or like what they have or what we're running up against. So,
right. Or necessarily where they are. Because like if they're in open spaces, it'd be completely different than if they were like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Caravan
it's like a
probably stay
mountain
clear of it.
pass.
as
of
for the
their
idea
army.
of getting reinforcements, the impression I get is that the lady's too careful to send troops up that way without confirmation of what they're going to be facing.
She's too
Well, that was to
cautious. Period.
That's just me, OC. Like,
Yeah, I figured that was more to the south though, where there was like very vague rumors, whereas there's a little more logic to going north.
Yeah, we told her
yes,
they
but
were
because
coming
we-
down 3
but
days ago.
because
and
we're
she-
we don't know that much about what's going on to the south, it's possible that diverting forces might leave the city undefended. And because we don't know how big the forces are up top, we don't know how much force we would need to divert to have a sizable effect on it.
Yeah, the three towns on the long road are not as well equipped as some of the cities along the coast.
Mm.
They probably have very small populations and small. I doubt they would have much in the way of military. And yeah, it's something you would have to run by the lady Silverhand herself to see if she'd be willing to send anything out of Waterdeep.
I mean, with the caveat that the further we bring these troops up north, the more we're able to head off any particular invasion unless they're coming down through the river. So it's not like she's just throwing them away and they're not being used for any defense. It's for any attack coming.
Or we could at least say
by transport from
maybe
the
the
north.
defense could stay on.
Let's go up there, see what we can find, and warn her. And then she can take an informed decision.
Hey,
Yeah.
why don't we?
You can always run it by her too if you feel like that's something worth doing. You are a captain, so she might take that under advisement.
Option.
But yeah, it's
I don't think it would hurt to talk to her beforehand, and then yes, like you're saying, we can go and scout ahead. But if we scout ahead and then call back and say, "Oh, hey, by the way,
we did
we're
teleport
in a
back and
pit."
then scout and then come back up again with a force. I don't
That
know.
would take time, yeah, to transport any reinforcements, but we could at least talk to her ahead of time, and if she's like, nah, then she's like, nah.
If anything, tell her to maybe put them on the road just outside Waterdeep.
Right.
As long as we do something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, if the group's agreed, then I think after buying supplies and everything for the day, Aiden at least would ask to speak to Lady Silverhand that evening to let
Okay.
them know the group's plans, discuss the city's defenses, the rumors that they've heard within the city about the force moving south along the long road, how, in looking at the city map, it looks like there is one main road about 25 more miles north of the city, and he would recommend moving at least some force of troops up there, not necessarily leaving the city undefended, but otherwise the city's main transport looks to be like the river delta.
I mean, there's a bridge there. They can just choke
Right.
point at the bridge.
Right. So you could bottleneck them at the bridge up there. And then he'd also talk about the fork between the long road and the road coming down from Thornhill.
I'd say just make a persuasion check just to see how willing she is to. Okay. She understands military strategy to a degree, but she does have people like yourself that she does on occasion defer to. So she says, I won't allow any of Waterdeep's defense to go, but I do have a number of conscripts ready to go in a case of an event like this, and should you desire me move them out, I can move them north of the city to a degree. I have heard word of attacks to the north as well. It hasn't gone unheeded. It's just some of that territory falls more within outside of my range of interference, I suppose. But I have no issue sending a small squadron of conscripts north if that is what you would wish.
I think that it's advisable, especially if they stayed within normal confines of behavior. So if they're not taking resources from the land, I don't think that the populace is going to argue. Also, if they're defending the populace from dragon cult attacks, it might extend your sphere of influence.
She kind of would laugh at that, saying it's the least of her concerns at this time. So you let her know where she is to send the conscripts, and she will have it done.
Aiden would nod and salute and thank her.
And she says she'll get the squadron ready to move out on the word from Phandelver then.
Okay. So how far are they willing to move out? About the 25-mile radius that we talked about, or further?
She agreed to send them as far north as the crossroads.
So up here?
So about 2 days march. And that should you get first-hand sightings of actual attacks ongoing, then she would send them farther north.
Okay. How many's in the squadron?
It's a good question. It's a squadron of 25 soldiers. That seems like a number.
Okay.
Be generous.
Woot.
She says,